Logitech MX Mechanical Mini for Mac. So I'm gonna hop right in, unbox, give my first impressions and first sort of review, and then compare it to some other keyboards that I have set aside here and tell why I think this is the best keyboard out there for the average worker who wants to just have something a little bit better than maybe the Apple Magic Keyboard, something a little more old school with the mechanical feel to it. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, let's cut it open there. So I went with the black version. There's a sort of light gray, white version as well. Also on the box, I didn't really do a little workaround here, but long-lasting comfort, tactile quiet keys. I believe these are brown switches. Smart illumination, which is pretty interesting. If you wave your hand over the lights, they turn on. Let's go ahead and unbox here. All right, comes with a little Create the Ultimate Setup for Mac. Shows some of their mouses as well. Just a little upsell promo there. Here's the keyboard itself. We'll lay that aside. Since this is the Mac version, it actually doesn't come with the USB dongle, which is fine by me. I'm all about that Bluetooth, and it does have 3 easy switch Bluetooth options. So in this little box, you get USB-C to USB-C, which is always nice. A little bit of help setting up, how to put it together, all that kind of stuff. So let's move all this aside and get into the keyboard itself. Interesting choice with the tissue paper. I don't really understand that, but all right. So there is the keyboard. Like I said, there's brown switches, so it's a little bit quieter, which is good for an office environment. You do have your 2 8-degree sort of prop-up deals there. I don't know what you call them, which makes typing a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. I'm not really gonna connect it to my computer or anything today. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the feel of the keyboard. So basically the smart illumination, I don't know how this works. There's probably some sort of near field sensor kind of deal here where when you do run your hand, okay, it just worked there. If you step away, the lights turn off, and then as your hands get close to the keyboard, it turns back on. I believe if you have the light on, it lasts a few weeks. And then if you turn the light off, which I'll probably do in my office at work, I have lights. I don't really need the keyboard to be lit. It'll last like months and months. So that's pretty fantastic. It's what I'm going to be using it for. I will say I enjoy the look of a 60% layout better. This is a 75% because you do have this added function row up here and then this side, your page up, page down row. 60% is only like delete to control here, which I think looks a little nicer ratio wise. I don't know why. I do have a Nuphy keyboard I'll talk about in just a second that is 60%. But I want to point out some interesting buttons, keys on this keyboard that I think is fantastic. You have a do not disturb mode switch that if you hit that, it turns your computer into do not disturb mode, which I think is fantastic. A little bit extra, you have your emoji key up here, screenshot key. You can dim and brighten these lights on the keyboard itself, which is cool. And then all the usual kind of stuff. This looks like a maybe mute switch here for your microphone. Other than that, it's a pretty simple keyboard. Up top, I think this is aluminum around the edges here. Everything else is plastic. As you can see, nice rubber trail here, and then these have rubber, and then there's rubber there as well, so it doesn't move around on your desk so much. Super nice. A little bit of Logi branding here. I don't like this strip up here. I'm sure it's needed for whatever reason, but it just adds a little more to the keyboard itself. It's not my favorite looking keyboard, but I do like how minimal gray it looks, just really simple there, which I do like. Something I will notice looking at it right here, it has the illusion, so the keys themselves are like flat. They do go flat, and as you can hopefully see in the overhead camera, this is sort of what it looks like from the side. You have those shallow keycaps. But when I'm looking at it here, the keys look like they kind of go like in an arc like that. As you can see, it's just straight, but it gives this sort of feeling, which I don't know why that is. It just sort of feels like the keyboard's rounded a little. though it's not. So you can actually swap out these keycaps if you want to. If you have a keycap swapping tool, that's probably better. And as you can see, these are the brown switches. Let me turn that off. So it's a nice and quiet sound that they've gone for here. Personally, I think this is the perfect keyboard for me. I wanted the mechanical keyboard feel. I wanted something low key. I do work in an office, and though I close my door a lot of times, I don't want to be just like clacking away super loud where people can hear. So like a blue switch, something like that would just be too clicky and loud for most people around me, I would think. Minimal. I mean, I don't like travel with keyboards. I'll talk about that in a second as well, but this is something you could throw in your bag. It's not too heavy. It does have a good weight to it though, like it doesn't feel cheap. I really enjoy the Logitech brand, and honestly, that's why I have gone with this keyboard among others. I have tried, and I'll go ahead and pull some of these out. This Nuphy 60% layout is something I was really excited for, and I purchased for work, and I used it for a bit, but honestly, this is the version 1. It had a really hard time picking up my keystrokes, which sounds weird, but I see how I like the layout. Something about the ratio just looks better to me. I like the longer, and I do like how Nuphy just has this bezel that's the same size all the way around. There's a lot I really enjoy about this Nuphy keyboard. I like the color scheme. I like the feel when typing. But I was like, normally I would be typing and it would just be missing keys. And it could be a me issue that I'm not banging away as hard as I need to. But I don't like type really like gently. I'm usually like, you know, and it was missing inputs. So I don't know if that was a me issue, but it felt more like an issue with the keyboard itself. So ultimately what I decided to do was go with Logitech. And the reason why, Logitech's been around forever. They've made tons and tons of keyboards. I just wanted to go with a brand that has been around for a while and has done the same thing, make keyboards, make desk accessories for years and years. Nuphy is kind of new to the game. They've made a few different versions, but it's still, you know, Kickstarter release for a lot of these. I've done the Keychron keyboard, which I actually really liked, but that one was like really loud, and so I traded that in because I was actually working in the same like office cubicle thing with someone, and so that was just a little too much for them to handle. Good on them. They sort of bit their tongue for a while, but eventually they were like, dude, that thing is like so annoying. So like I said, I really like this Nuphy. It has a weird texture to the keys, which this Logitech doesn't have. I don't know if it's just kind of like slightly, I don't know. It's not smooth. These are really smooth, and I like the smooth feel better. Obviously it looks nice, it's more stylized. I think I could honestly change out these keycaps if I wanted to. Let's pull up some of the other keyboards I have here. And the only reason I'm bringing them into frame is 1, they're Logitech, and 2, I'm gonna be giving these away. So as a giveaway on this video, if you want either of these, subscribe to the channel, comment down below why you could use either of these keyboards, and I'll get into them in a second, and tell me which one you would like. And I will pick 2 lucky winners to receive each of these. You have to be in the United States. I don't really know all the details of shipping outside the country, so if you're in the US, I'm happy to ship these to you. So the first is this super thin mobile Logitech keyboard. I had an iPad for the longest time, and I would take this with me to coffee shops and stuff. It's so thin and just practical for on-the-go stuff if you want to have an actual button keyboard instead of, you know, typing on your iPad screen, or if you just want to, you know, be able to put this anywhere and not have to be stuck to your laptop keys. It has a similar typing experience to the iPad smart keyboards. If you've ever owned one of those, it's got that sort of like this whole layer of like suede-ish kind of feeling, tactile. Not for everyone, but it's a great iPad keyboard to type on. So if that's something you'd want to be able to throw in your bag, comment down below why you would use this, subscribe to the channel, and you might just be a lucky winner. The next one, I don't even remember why I got this one. This, I think, is marketed as a TV keyboard. So if you have a smart TV and you do a lot of like, I don't know, web surfing or using certain apps on your smart TV, it's got your keyboard here, and it's also got volume and then an actual trackpad over here. It's not the best trackpad, but it works. I don't remember why I got it. And there's also a left click button for your mouse up here in the top left corner. So if you're like chilling on the couch and you're like, hey, and you can kind of hold it like a controller almost with your thumb and choose things and then left click there. So, I mean, it works on a computer as well. This is very light. I can see you throwing this in a bag as well. But yeah, comment down below which one you would like best. I'm gonna be giving these away. If no one wants these, that's fine. I'll probably just give them away to friends or something. But I thought I would let you all pick your favorites and I'll be shipping these out to you. Right, so the last thing I wanna do here before I leave you guys is just a little sound test, if you will, so you can hear the differences between all 4 of these keyboards. So yeah, I'll leave you all with that little sound test, and thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. God bless.